This is Sean Crystal. Catch the Inkpulp podcast on Pharcyde TV Wednesdays at noon Pacific Time, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Come hang. Peace. This is the Inkpulp podcast. This is the Inkpulp podcast. Comics, hip hop, life. Welcome to the Inkpulp podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Sean Crystal. This is the last episode of 2020, the year where I launched this baby. And I've spent the year producing and putting out and growing, and I've learned a lot from doing this. And I'm going to be making some changes. I don't know what they are yet. I'm most likely going to take a couple months down to figure that out. Or not to figure it out, I have an idea, but a couple months to build something that's a little more efficient. I love doing the interviews. I've always enjoyed that. I find doing them while drawing, it's a little challenging. And I think I'm getting about, a halfway decent drawing podcast and a halfway decent interview podcast. But I don't want to do halfway decent. So I'm going to think on that. Today we've got a comedian friend of mine, Dan Soder, who joined me for this. And I was very excited to record with Dan. Dan's hilarious. He's a friend and he's awesome. So enjoy. And I'll see you in 2021. Peace. What do you got going on at 2? We're going. So
doctor's appointment. Sick ass doctor's appointment. Get my throat looked at. So
you got the COVID?
No. I just have to get my throat checked out. I have an ENT that I go to usually twice a year, and I haven't been to them yet. No, throat pain. I have GERD, so I need to look out for Barrett's esophagus, which is the precursor for esophageal cancer, because I smoked for fucking 15 years, and I still smoke a ton of weed.
Hey, the cigarettes did that to you?
Well, they haven't done anything to me yet, knock on wood. I don't know what's going on. I just go to this doctor to get looked at. He looks at like Broadway singers and shit, and like rappers and actors. He's pretty badass, dude.
He's a doctor for the bougie people, huh?
Well, for people that have money that want to fucking save their throats.
Right. I don't. Yeah. Well, take care of that. That sounds.
Yeah, I mean, it
sounds like a really bad thing for a comedian to have.
I think a comedian fucking not taking care of his throat's a dumb fucking move. It's like an athlete not taking care of his knees. Right.
So, what has COVID done for your weed intake?
Upped it by about 300%.
Yeah, I know, me too.
You too?
Yeah, me too, man. I've started in a healthy way though. I think I've started smoking a little sativa during the work day, which I didn't used to do.
Okay.
Like when I'm drawing, so like usually around 3 o'clock, I'll have a little espresso and a little hit of sativa.
Yeah, dude. Coffee and weed. It is the great balance.
It really is. It really changes the whole weed game.
It's enough to make you kind of stoned, but then also focused.
Yeah.
Laser focus.
Yes, which is something new to me because weed was always to turn shit off.
Yeah. Okay, so I see that. Yeah, it's fun watching people get into weed. Like realizing that it's not a scary thing that's going to make you fucking mentally collapse every time you do it.
Yeah, it's nice to see like the sort of social acceptance of what's going on with it now.
Oh, for sure. The legalization will just help out. Now they just need to, do the hardest part, which is expunge all of the records of people that are doing fucking major sentences for it.
I know. They really need to fix that shit. So talk to me about what COVID's been like for your industry, because it's fucked mine up pretty good.
Oh, it's been great. Stand-up comedy's thriving right now. You know, it's doing so fucking good with the lack of ability to go into a room with someone else.
Right.
Destroyed it. It destroyed it. I don't even think that's a question. I think stand-up comedy got taken out.
Yeah,
you got to do it outside of rooftops or socially distant shows, which really you don't really know.
What is that? Oh, like
what's what?
A socially distant show, just people sitting far apart?
Yeah, it's they space about 6 feet, and then you just do the show, and people are far away from you. But it's the only shows I've done inside. I know there's been a couple like regular shows, I think, in certain states, but I am only doing the socially distanced ones. Even those, some places you're like, man, I don't trust this. This is going to be fucking dangerous. So,
are you traveling at all for it, or is this all in New York?
I did some shows in New York. Did some shows outside of New York. I flew to St. Louis in June for shows, but then realized I was just going to kind of stay whatever was drivable. So I've just been doing I did Providence, Philadelphia, a couple other places.
Did you not like the flying during this?
I've flown to St. Louis and I've flown to San Francisco, both on Delta, and they seem to have it down, kind of.
That's how I felt.
Have you flown?
Yeah, I went out to Portland and I went out to Miami, and both on Delta.
Yeah.
And I've seen pictures of what the other airlines are doing from like friends and family who have flown on that, and that looks terrifying.
Yeah, like United, I think it was United and American or United and Southwest were just doing full-on regular flights. They just had
just packing them in.
Yeah, you're like, damn, there's no fucking way I could do that. There is no way I could do that. I just feel like sitting someone next to me, I'd be like, please don't breathe. Please don't fucking breathe. Because you don't know where this shit comes from. And you're like, dude, man, I know you could be tested and have a mask and a shield on, but you could have a particle bust out from one of the openings and it's going to get me.
Yeah. Have you had any scares where you thought you had it?
Yeah, I'm a hypochondriac, so there's been a couple times where I've just been like, I definitely have it. I feel, lethargic. I've also been smoking weed all day, and I'm like, I feel lethargic and paranoid. I think that's a sign. And everyone's like, no, man, you're just stoned and an idiot.
Yeah, I think I had it. I really do. I was exposed, and then I got tested, but the test was negative.
Well, that's good. That's good.
But the next week, I felt some shit that I just ignored, but I'm pretty sure it's not good.
Yeah, when you just kind of are like, man, am I supposed to be wheezing when I breathe? That's what I'm worried about. That I'm just going to wake up one day and it's going to be like, just fucking, and you're like, shit, now I got it. And I'm going to die. But yeah, it's, yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to, I want to get back on the road. And if that means getting a vaccine, then so be it. If I can get one. If it works, we'll see.
Right.
I think they're doing I feel like vaccines are like the new generation console systems, the like PlayStation 5 and the new Xbox, where it's like, let other people get it and tell me about the bugs. And then
right. Exactly.
I'll get it in 6 months or a year when it's got a better record.
Has this whole thing messed with like your shooting on the show at all?
Oh yeah. I mean, dude, everything got shut down. I don't they should have Billions down in March, and we haven't been back since. I think we're going to start up. I think it's going to be 1 year exactly. I heard that March is the start date for the end of season 5.
Yeah, they shut down all our conventions. I don't know when those are coming back.
Yeah, man, that's got to suck. But as far as like comics go, has that work picked up? Because you can do that. I mean, you're doing this right now from home.
Yeah, I mean, I have my studio that I always work from, but the COVID fucking wrecked the industry pretty good. The industry was kind of broken already in terms of like distribution and the audience numbers, the readership.
Yeah.
It just kind of accelerated a whole bunch of problems that were there that needed to be addressed. But when distribution shut down, like in the early days of COVID, when everyone was on total lockdown, they stopped making the books at the publishers. And so a lot of people were getting called like to stop working, like a put your pencil down order.
Damn.
And the people that are working are a fraction of those that were working before it hit.
Damn, that's crazy. So these people were basically just like, hey, don't work. You can't work.
Right, exactly. Now, I had kind of, before COVID, kind of moved myself more towards a fully independent model of making a living.
Yeah.
Which has been tricky, but so that didn't hurt me. The publisher stuff didn't hurt me, but the conventions I had turned into like my main source of income. So those got taken away.
That sucks. And that's how it kind of is for the road for comics. It's like,
right. I figure,
you need to go out and do that stuff.
Yeah. So I've just been spending so much time figuring out like what to do. I had a business I was starting. I had been planning for the past couple years where I wanted to take my history as an art teacher and make downloadable, like how to draw comics videos with me and all my artist friends.
Yeah.
And was going to shoot the first one. Like this was my big plan to like make a living and support my art. So I could do the art I wanted to do. And this sort of passive income would be my ticket.
Yeah. Like the way I get that.
But COVID fucked up the first shoot, but then after that, I ramped it up. So I've shot 6 of them so far, and I think we're going to.
So you still got it in there, right?
Yeah. I filmed 6 of them. One of me, and that's why I went to Portland. That's why I went to Miami. I drove up to North Carolina to go to an artist friend's place there, and just turned it into like hyper mode of get it done. So I think in March I'm gonna start releasing those on a platform. I did an Indiegogo for the first one.
Yeah.
Of me, just to like raise some awareness.
Sure.
But and that ended like a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Well, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do. What I'm doing now is there's also this site called TeePublic. I don't know if you've heard of this, but
oh yeah, I've been to TeePublic. It's reading about like T-shirts and stuff, right?
Right. So you can just make your own designs and throw them up there. And I've had a few friends like make some decent money, not life-changing money, but nice passive money. So I'm trying to do some designs for that. So I'm just drawing a donor skull with a weird thing on top.
Nice. And then that's going to be a T-shirt?
Yeah, I mean, they put it on everything. I did one design. I haven't opened my site there yet. I'm getting 3 of them done. But it's on T-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, phone cases.
Yeah, dude. I used to go to Redbubble all the time, or like
it's like that.
Etsy or stuff like Etsy.
Right.
I found a couple of my favorite T-shirts on Etsy. I found this Calvin and Hobbes shirt that I bought years ago, and obviously Bill Watterson doesn't like license out the Calvin and Hobbes.
Right, that's been a thing.
But it's like, this person had an awesome T-shirt, and I was like, "Fuck it, man! If Bill Watterson ain't gonna lease it, I still want to support I still want to fucking wear a Calvin and Hobbes shirt."
What was the shirt?
It was just it was one of the covers of my favorite Calvin and Hobbes books.
Oh, okay.
With Calvin pulling his cheeks apart and Hobbes making a silly face. But it was just,
I know what you're talking about.
It was just a really well done T-shirt, and I was like, "Oh fuck, that's great!" And then you feel bad because you're like, "Yeah, I know Bill Watterson doesn't want this thing to be made."
Right.
I do, William.
So are you a big Calvin and Hobbes fan? That's kind of like the masterpiece of the past 100 years in this medium.
Yeah, my two favorite are Calvin and Hobbes and Pharcyde.
Oh, Pharcyde was great. Isn't that back now?
Yeah, I heard Gary Larson is starting to do it again, which is pretty awesome. But
yeah, that's what I heard too. I haven't read any of them. I think they're online. That's where he's doing them, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he? It's only online.
I think so. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's the story, which would be awesome. I mean, I one thing COVID I think has done for a lot of artists, and I'm curious if like it's affected like your arts in any way, is it's made it very clear that you can just go out on your own and make it happen if you got the hustle to do so, and not have to answer to anyone or have like middleman things. So like a lot of people I know in comics have gone to crowdfunding, and some of them are making like off just a little floppy comic. Some of these campaigns have hit like over $1 million for
That's awesome.
a job that has paid people, if you're paid well, like a single issue, maybe like $7,000.
Yeah, that's fucking great, dude. That's great. It's great when people can find ways to make money in this fucking shitstorm that maybe they weren't before, try to find a new way.
Yeah.
Try to find a new way to fucking survive.
Are you still reading comics?
Yeah. I've been mentally all over the place, but I got this for my birthday, which I'm very excited about, which is Elephant Man, this one.
What's wait, is that the who is is that Ladrone? Who drew that?
Starkins, yeah, Ladrone.
Yes. That's pretty stuff.
Yeah, my buddy Victor got it for me, and he's kind of like he's the guy that gets me into all the good comics. Like I'm still reading the M Project Ex Machina or
Ex Machina.
Ex Machina. I got like through the first book of that.
Yeah.
And then I got through the first book of the M Project, but I just haven't been able to go pick up more books. And then I haven't even thought like, oh, I'll just order them because I'm an idiot. I'm just like, I usually like to go to Midtown Comics, and I like because the guys that work, the guys. I like Midtown normally, and then there's like a mom and pop one in Astoria right off the Ditmar stop. That's great. I think it's called Silver Age Comics.
Okay.
The difference is like like what I like about comic book store workers is they are the opposite of what music store workers used to be. Like music store, like you'd walk into like a Sam Goody or like a Tower Records, and you'd be like, I'm kind of looking for that record, and they'd be like, ugh, it's over here. Right. Unless you ran into a cool guy that worked there. But like comic book stores, I find are more like, oh yeah, you want to watch that? Or like, oh, you're trying to read that? You should read this. If you like this guy, read this guy. And like, if you go in being like, I liked Watchmen, they'll have like 6 different titles that you can read. And I really like that.
That's cool. Did you watch that HBO series?
No, I didn't, but I've heard nothing but great things.
Oh, man, it was really good.
Man, I don't understand how so many people can watch so many shows. Like, yes. I complete one show, and I'm like, man, look at that. I watched all of that show. And then I talked to, like, Big J, and he's like, yeah, I just finished, we just completely watched The Wire, or Breaking Bad. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's so much.
Yeah, that's a lot of show. Yeah, I've got a few shows that I try to keep up with. I'm real far behind. Like the new season of Fargo.
Oh, me too. Yeah, we watched. My girlfriend and I watched the first episode, and then we never stuck with it because it was like we got I think 1 or 2 episodes in, and they were 90 minutes apiece, and that's like when you're going to watch it, there's like this weird feeling of like, all right, 90 minutes. But I love Fargo.
That TV series is just I've been wanting to watch it for years. When COVID hit, I just started watching it during my lunch break.
Oh, shit. So you started Fargo from season 1 during COVID?
Yeah. So I watched
season 1.
What's that?
Did you finish all of it or only?
Yeah, I'm all caught up. I watched the first half of the new season, episode 1, and was like, I need to focus. Like, I need this. I can't just like
It's
watch
pretty
in
cool.
10-minute increments.
It's pretty great how they connect all of the seasons.
Yes,
But man, season 1 with Billy Bob Thornton and Colin Hanks, everyone in that, I mean, it's unbelievable.
It was amazing. What was your favorite season?
I liked season 2 the best. I liked when they went back to Sioux Falls and did the whole kind of what the dad explained to the daughter in season 1. And I thought the alien stuff was weird. I think I was too dumb. I think I was too dumb to get what that meant, but I really enjoyed season 2. Season 3 was great. I thought it was weird with the McGregor, Ewan McGregor playing the twins.
Right.
I thought that was the best. I thought he was the best villain. Season 3 and season 1 were my 2 favorite villains: Billy Bob Thornton and that British bulimic guy.
Right. Season 1 villain was Billy Bob Thornton was great. Season 2 was the one that took place. What was it, like the 60s? The 70s. Yeah, that was my favorite 70s. Too. With the crime family.
Yeah, that was great. And that was what I liked about that is like it got away from it in season 3, but then you're seeing how what I liked about it is like season 1 and season 3 were closer together and kind of how they were, but season 2 and season 4 seemed to be about the same kind of crime family and how that take over, which I think is awesome. So this conversation's motivated me to get back into Fargo. I gotta start watching Fargo.
Yeah, I gotta get into it too. It's just time. I think I'll take it. Yeah. I think I'm going to give myself a few days, like after Christmas, try to watch some shit. That and Sabora is back, which is a Italian series on Netflix that I've enjoyed.
Okay. Yeah, there's so much I got to watch. We were doing a rewatch of The Wire, and we got stuck in season 2.
I love The Wire. That's my favorite show.
Yeah, I'm trying. I got to maybe kick the tires on that one and see if we can get back going again.
So you've seen it. You're just rewatching it, right?
I'm rewatching it, and I was getting, my girlfriend enjoyed season 1, but with season 2, it was like it was the part of COVID where everything was getting more and more locked down,
Mm-hmm. Right. Is this the girlfriend you were seeing when you were down here last? She was in the comics?
No. Different one.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about if you were single, because I have single friends and COVID is brutal. If you're single.
Oh man, I can't imagine that.
No, I can't either. So what was it like filming that Colin Quinn thing, the performing in front of cars?
It was, brutal. I hope that's the only time I ever have to do that. I know there's like people that have done tours with cars. I know Nate Bargatze and Burt Kreischer have, but man, it just seemed weird. They would like honk and flash their lights. It was just fun to see everybody. That's the most fun I had.
Right. I got that. I think it was good that
Bobby, Chris, and Keith and Rachel and all them. It was just fun, and Voss and Bonnie and Sam. It was just fun to be around and talk shit again. That was the most fun part for me.
Yeah, I could tell from the footage of the, like, behind the scenes stuff. That was my favorite parts.
Mm-hmm.
How's Bobby doing during all this?
He's good. We just did the dude Yankee swap yesterday, and it was me, Lewis, Joe, and Bobby, and it was fun as fuck, man. Again, it's a weird thing because I'm seeing all my friends, but I'm just seeing them through social media and Zoom, which is not healthy.
No, not at all.
It's just a weird. It's a shitty year, a shitty time, and I think we're getting through it. Hopefully, knock on wood, we're through the worst of it. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited for stand up to come back in the real way with live audiences and shit.
Yeah, I'm excited to attend it as a.
When do you think conventions are going to be back by? I mean, that's got to be.
Dude, it's. I think conventions will be one of the last things to come back, like concerts, like especially these monstrosities they've become. I mean, New York Comic Con's so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, you're packing in like 100,000 people into
Damn.
Javits.
Yeah, it's like the NFL and comic book,
Exactly. And so they announced the company that hosts New York City Comic Con, they're called Reed, and they host all the big shows. And they've got one in Chicago and one in Seattle every year. And those are normally a week apart or 2 weeks apart in the early spring. And they just said that they announced these dates in December where they're a week apart. So one in Seattle in December and one in Chicago the week after.
So this is 2020 or 2021?
2021.
Okay.
Those are but the problem is, who the fuck's going to go to a Comic-Con in Chicago in December when no one's got extra money to throw around because of the holidays and it's freezing? And then Seattle, the same thing, and they're a week apart. So I've heard people say they were doing that just to block out some other cons from grabbing those dates. But I can't even see those being worth attending because by the time you've paid for your flight, your hotel, I mean, normally I do get a break on table space, but just making any money there seems next to impossible.
Yeah, damn. That sucks, dude.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm wondering if some of the smaller independent shows will take a little more risk and maybe they'll come back in the fall. But I don't. A lot of people are saying 2021 is done. Like we're not going to have any then either.
Damn. So they're going all the way to 2022.
That's what people are predicting. It's kind of hard to say. If the only shows that have been announced are at the very end of 2021, that's the guess. This thing's been kind of brutal.
Yeah, man. It's what's so funny is before all this, everyone was like, "Hey, live shows are never going anywhere," and you're like, "What if they all did? What if they all went away?"
Yeah. Do you think it's going to change anything permanently on your end?
I don't know. I think you just have to wait and see. I think it could, but I don't know. You know, I'm pretty sure once the vaccine's out there and it stops, you know, and things open back up, I would assume that people are probably going to be a little wilder, probably more talkative in the audience. So that'll be a real fucking fun treat to deal with.
Dude, people in Atlanta are going crazy right now. There's like a thing going on. I've spoken to a few people. It's like all of these married couples are now opening their marriages. There's swinger shit going on. Like it's like people are going crazy right now.
They're going nuts.
It's crazy, man. It's been pretty nutty just hearing some of these stories.
Yeah, man. It's fucking, you know, it's tough, man. It's fucking tough because everyone's, you know, you're trapped inside. And, you know, I remember at the beginning of this being like, all right, dude, fucking 2 weeks inside doing nothing but sweats and video games. Awesome. And then like, now you're like, all right, open it up.
Yeah, I never shut my shit down. I kind of clicked into survival mode and just started working my ass off. My art dealers, like, COVID canceled that Seattle show, which was my income for the spring was going to be made that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And they wiped that out. So my art dealer had like a virtual streaming con where me and like other people in the art group were drawing on camera, kind of like I'm doing now, and taking commissions. And it turned out to be great because the art buying community was real supportive. I forget where I was going with that, but
I don't know. But I mean, you know, it's cool that you're being able to make shit still.
Yeah. So that changed. That gave us something to do for a little bit. So yeah, that's what I was saying. I got a bunch of commissions and just kept working and hustling, and then I was building that educational business, and I never really stopped. Like I think I worked
I didn't have a day off until July.
Damn.
Like I just kept going.
That's a good way to bury your head, man. Just bury your head and get that work done.
But I'm pretty tired, Dan.
Yeah, well, so am I. I think we all are. I'm pretty fucking tired too. And it's like weird to be busy when you're just in your sweats all day. When someone's like, because we're doing the bonfire 8 hours a week, and then we started Sixth and Jump, which is where we watch 21 Jump Street episodes and talk about them.
Is that on Sirius, that one?
No, that's Ari's podcast. It's on Patreon.
Oh, that's Ari. Okay.
Yeah, Ari Shafir.
Yeah.
And then Big J and I,
I ran into Ari. A good buddy of mine is Italian. He's big into stand-up comedy. And we were at that show in Seattle I keep talking about, and we saw Ari on the street. He has no idea who we are. But we shouted at him, and he saw we had comic book badges. He started making fun of us.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah, he's a fun dude. He's a fun dude.
He's funny, too.
Yeah. Good guy.
Chappelle's been doing pretty good during this COVID thing.
Well, he had a setup because he's Dave Chappelle, so he was able to, get I think it was in Yellow Springs. He got a farm. Michelle Wolf was there, and I was talking to her about it, and it seems like it was a pretty cool fucking thing.
Yeah, it looks like
doing shows every night.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it. So in your world, like from where I stand, Chappelle's he just blows my mind. Like he's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah,
in
for
that.
sure.
Is that comedians look at him that way too?
I can't answer for everybody. Everyone's different, but I would say personally, yeah, he's my number one. I think him and Burr and Louis.
Yeah, Burr's amazing.
Patrice, Attell, and Colin probably are all my favorites. But yeah, Chappelle's top dog, dude. And he did a bunch of shows, did a couple. I don't like calling those clips he put out specials. I think that's unfair. He put out the 846, and then he put out or 849, and then he put out the one about Chappelle's show. And people were calling those specials, and I think that's a misuse of the word.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not an hour of stand-up, which I think Nate is putting out, which is awesome.
Oh.
Nate filmed a Netflix special that'll be coming out soon.
How are you doing with all that? Your special came out, your HBO special came out early into COVID? Is that about when it hit?
No, it came out last December. It came out December 7th last year. And then, so I was, happy it got out and people were able to see it. Sam Morril put out a special in COVID. That was great. It's on a rooftop that he filmed. And other people have dropped specials. Mark Norman dropped one, Joe List. A lot of really good specials came out during COVID.
Yeah.
Louis, you could check them all out.
I got I checked out most of the ones you just mentioned. I do like to keep up with comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an art form I'm a big fan of. I was just going to. What about music? How's music been for you during COVID?
It's been good. I just try to. I don't know, man. I realize that I listen to a lot more music when I'm out of the house, but I listen to music in the house, and just my headphones on and stuff. And been getting into. I'm just now into that J Electronica album, which came out in March.
Yeah,
it's fucking great.
It's amazing. Wow, yeah, you're just getting into that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I catch up. I've never been one that acts like a tastemaker. I've never been the one that's like, you don't know that. Like it took me until Mac Miller died to get into him, and then now I'm like,
oh my God, he's so good.
He's great, and there's a lot of good album. Like I'm trying to think who else put out an album during this.
I'm gonna do like
Run the Jewels was great. Obviously, that came out, and
that was definitely one of the top of the year.
Yeah.
I've been trying to collect a list of what kind of came out this year because I want to do like a best of podcast. So that's kind of why I'm also talking about it. I like
Car Seat Headrest put out a good album called "Making a Door Less Open."
Who is this?
They're great. Car Seat Headrest. I know it's an obnoxious name. But He's like a singer-songwriter. His name's Will Toledo. He's fucking fucking incredible.
Yeah, I have tunnel vision. I listen to like probably only hip hop, maybe a little bit of some other stuff sometimes.
I usually have to be told, like I have to be, or not told, but like guided in the direction of like, hey, you should listen to this person. They're pretty great. And you're like, oh, okay. And then I'm always like, give me one song to get into them. And then you get one song and you're like, okay. Like Mac Miller, Shane Gillis was like, listen to 2009. And I listened to that and was like, oh my God, that song's incredible. He's like, the whole album's incredible. And then it was like that's how it's always been my whole life. My favorite band is Queens of the Stone Age. And I didn't get into them until their biggest album, Songs for the Deaf, because I was working at a radio station and we were playing it. And I was like, these guys are awesome. And I just kept listening to the album. And then a coworker's like, dude, this is like their third album. They have a bunch of great stuff. And then it was, it was that. You work backwards. And then now I've been a fan of that band for close to 18 years.
Dude, my son just told me yesterday he texted me the other day. He said, guess who's following me? I was like, who? And he said, Dave Grohl's daughter.
That's awesome. I
was like, that's cool. And then the next day he's like, guess who I'm friends with? I was like, Dave Grohl's daughter? Yeah, they've become friends.
That's crazy. Why did she follow your son?
That's what we've been trying to figure out. He does a lot of he's just kind of this gifted visionary artist and musician. Like he's never had a lesson in anything, but he's been working on this album where he writes and performs every instrument. He's 15.
Damn.
So I'm guessing it was one of his like music videos he's made of himself.
Oh, that's awesome.
I caught her attention.
It's so cool though that like 15-year-olds now can play there's the software where they can play every if they have the talent to play every instrument and then also make their own music video and be their own art coordinator. That's fucking awesome. Has your son always been into art?
Yeah. He's always been into art. I mean, he draws. He's incredible. He's not like me. My daughter's more like me, where we had like some ability and we work at it, and you can kind of see through our artwork like where we fit in. He's kind of like out on his own, like doing something very different and very unique to him. It just comes natural. It's kind of obscene.
Yeah, that's got to be. Are you frustrated with that? Or are you like, you motherfucker?
No, it's nice to see. It's like he's my little prodigy. Like he just is like one of those kids where you're like, what are you bad at? Because everything you do, you kind of come in and do it in a way I've never seen it done before, and you do it well.
Yeah, that's the kind of kid you want. You don't want the kid that sucks at everything. I feel like that's who I was to my parents. So they were just like, God, you suck at baseball. It's like, all right, well, I'm trying. Like, God, you suck at school.
That too, man.
And you're like, all right.
I mean, I could draw well, but that didn't seem to matter. I didn't play sports well.
Yeah.
And then the one sport I really got into was skateboarding, and that wasn't good enough.
Yeah, but those guys, like the people, I always say, like, man, if you were into skateboarding as a kid, you're probably creative in a way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So you guys are doing the bonfire? Is that all? You're not going into studio on that, right?
No, we've been out of studio since March, and I heard we're not going back until July or September. We've been doing it over Zoom, and then Sirius sent me this piece of equipment called a WebEx, so we can you hardwire into the internet, and then you go live. You go live 6 to 8, and that's probably the best version of it, as far as being apart, because Lou Witzke can control the board and use all of his drops and stuff, so it makes it better.
And how's it doing during COVID? Is it like you seeing better numbers from it?
Oh, they don't give us numbers.
Oh, that's right. I knew that about them.
But it's been fun. It sucks. It's not as cool as being in studio, but it's still fun because Jay's hilarious and we have a good time.
Right. That's good. Are you living with your girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm staying with her right now.
So, like, have you stayed there the whole time? Do you ever go back?
I go back to Queens occasionally.
Okay.
I'll go back. And what's up?
You take an Uber, I assume, or a cab?
Yeah. Take an Uber over.
You're not getting on the subway, huh?
Yeah, I'm not taking my suitcases on the fucking subway to go from Jersey to Queens.
You're in Jersey. What part of Jersey are you in?
Hoboken.
Oh, I love Hoboken.
It's nice. It's very nice. So it's been a cool place to, stay.
Yeah, I haven't been to Hoboken in fucking forever.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. I like it. Yeah, but still got the place in Queens and still got all the stuff there.
What, I assume, like, you're okay, like, financially through all this. You had I'm
not doing well, but
right.
Yeah,
you're surviving.
I lived pretty tight before this, so
yeah, I remember we talked about that.
I stayed tight, and I got to take care of my grandma and my mom. So there was, I don't know. I definitely, obviously, this year was a hit. I didn't make any money,
right?
But, I'm able to survive.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. What are you doing for income?
This is probably the most personal podcast I've ever been on, where you're like, financially, how are you doing? You're like, damn, dude. I don't know. This the whole feeling has been like we're all been on the phone together, and finally you're like, so what's your money situation? What's your social? What are your, what you say what your failings are? Yeah, man. I mean, I'm not on the road. I don't know how you think comics make money, but we got to be on the road, and if you're not on the road, you ain't making shit. It's, city spots aren't fucking paying, and Billions is down. So yeah, I'm just, I'm lucky to have the bonfire. I'm very fucking lucky to have the bonfire.
Does that make you some money?
It's my job.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the reason this is a conversation I'm just having with a lot of creative people, because it seems like a lot of us had our money just wiped out.
Yeah. I think a lot of creative people, it was, you realize how non-essential we are. We're just the fancy kids that play dress up. It's my favorite term. Shane Gillis always says that. It's just people that play dress up, but that really is how it feels. It's like all the kids that play dress up. We're like, sorry, dude, you're not making money this year.
What strain are you smoking on these days? Are you a sativa, indica, hybrid?
I'm a hybrid guy. I switched over to hybrid.
What do you like? One that's leans in the middle?
I don't know, man. I'm in New York. I don't know how it is in Georgia, but in New York, it's not legal. So I'm still buying weed off of Weed Man, and
okay.
So it's harder to find a strain that you like, because it's basically like, what do you have? Can I buy it?
I got you.
But when I go back to Colorado, I usually try to look out for Golden Goat. That's probably my favorite strain.
Okay.
I think it's a sativa-dominated hybrid. Might just be a sativa, but it's the kind of high that I like. And then, man, this dude in fucking the Bay Area, one of the last weeks I did shows, I was in San Francisco, and this guy gave me a bag of fucking homegrown that I took back with me, and it was mighty nice. It was nice. Real good.
When I went to Portland, I mailed home like multiple felonies in a box.
Yeah.
And then flew home with more. So.
What's crazy is California, or specifically Los Angeles, will let you leave with weed.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. And my brother just mailed, for the fucking holidays, mailed us a nice package.
Yeah, they'll if you're at LAX, they're like, you can leave with 28 grams, up to 28 grams. And you're like, damn, dude, you guys are just letting us go home with it.
Wait, they just... even if you're not a resident, they allow that?
You got to check the website. But yeah, they said, like, listen, it's basically what LAX is like putting it on. They say it's on the people where you're landing.
Fuck. Yeah. And that was my whole theory, was like, the place you're leaving doesn't give a fuck. And the place you're landing isn't checking, because you've already gone through security. So I've just been bringing shit home from these states for years now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully everyone else catches up and it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, that would
Get
be
some
nice.
people out of jail.
That would be very nice. I've been fucking with a lot, and this is something I need more of. I did a microdose thing last summer where I microdosed mushrooms every Sunday for 10 weeks, and it rewired my mind entirely in a healthy way.
Yeah, man, I know a lot of people that microdose. There's a lot of people that microdose that are having a lot of success with it that I know that suffer from a lot of heavy issues.
Yeah, it got me through depression for sure.
Yeah.
One that I don't even think I was aware of living with until or I guess I was aware I was living with it, just not to the extent I was. But after a few weeks, I started feeling a cloud lift, and it was like my default emotion had been like a down emotion.
Yeah.
That was like my baseline, and this raised my baseline up to a like positive place. So after like 10 weeks, it was like, oh, I'm just generally happier now.
Yeah, that's what
And I
people
don't
are saying, that it kind of lifts them up.
Yeah. And then I like a month later, I was like, I could use a little booster. So I did one, and I haven't had it in a while, and I haven't felt the need for it, but I would really enjoy it. Like, I'd love to get my hands on it again.
Yeah. That's a thing that a couple people that I know that have done it. It seems like it's really helped their lives, and it's like, oh, that's awesome, man. I don't, I'm sure there's some people that it won't probably affect as greatly, but whatever helps, man. We're finding out new medicines.
Yeah, good medicines. Shit, I've been fucking with for a long time. Now it's okay.
Yeah, right.
I know. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have kids who are pot smokers. That's new.
Oh, really? Did you bust your son?
No, we kind of raised them like honestly. Like, they caught my wife at a young age because.
How old were they when they caught your wife?
This was my daughter was probably 10, which means my son was probably like 8, and I was away. And they were, I don't know which one of them woke up first, but they went to talk to my wife, and she had like thought they were asleep, and she was just blazing up in the bedroom alone with the door closed. And she hears a knock at the door, and she freaks out. She's like, which one is this going to be? And she opens it up. It's both of them. And so they, my daughter was like, are you smoking in here? She's like, no, it's a candle. It's a candle. Yeah. And kind of blew it off. But my daughter's got this.
Did that blow out where she's like?
No. Well, my daughter's keen. So she didn't buy it, but she let it slide. And then I was away at a convention. She called me. She's like, what do I do? I was like, you got to be honest. Like, we've told them that weed is natural and okay. And if you use it like responsibly, it's fine. So just tell them. So she did, like, the next day, and they're like, oh, okay. And so they were kind of grew up around it when they were little. Like, I remember my daughter being like, I have no interest in that. I don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And my son kind of followed suit. And then my daughter tried it once and told us, and we were like, okay. And she was like, it was okay. I don't know if I'll do it again. And then she started doing it with her friends every now and then, but they were getting like vape cartridges off the black market. And this is around the time when people were discovering the shit that was in those vape cartridges. That was like hurting, like giving people lung issues.
Yeah, that's what stopped me from vaping weed.
Yeah, well, I went on a deep dive in the research, and I spoke to people at dispensaries, and it was all about the oils that they were using in the cartridges. There are oils that are fine, and there are oils that are not, and it's like vitamin E is not. And that's what a lot of those cartridges on the black market were using. So I bought home. So my wife was like, "You with my daughter, like it's fine if you smoke. You know, we're not going to smoke with you till you're 18. We don't want to know about it. Blah blah."
Yeah. But
So
damn,
then
dude,
I found out about all that, and so I was away, and I was like, I'm going to get her an edible, like a cookie that'll last a while, and bring it home. And I kind of like snuck it to her. I was like, here, I'd rather you have this than, and I think I gave her a pre-roll too. I got than what you're smoking. I was like, I just don't want you smoking that stuff out there.
Well, there was also that like fake marijuana that was like killing people, and you're like, don't smoke that shit.
Right. There was all that shit, and I remember growing up, like I remember getting a bag of weed a few times that smelled like gasoline, and then learning later in life that they would smuggle it in gas tanks across the Mexican border. So I was like, I'd rather give it to her. But then she ratted me out to my wife, threw me under the bus, and then my wife was pissed, but she just accepted it after that. So she was like, I'm not going to smoke with you till you're 18, but I would smoke with my daughter, like when she was 17, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like we could just step out back and smoke a little together.
Did you ever feel like you gotten too high around your daughter?
No. So she started coming to conventions with me like a year and a half ago because she wants to be an artist, and she'd set up with me. And she'd go out, like she had a lot of friends she had met through doing cons, and she would go out with her friends, and I'd go out with my friends. But then like one night, I had the microdoses on me. So me and a few friends popped a couple microdoses and went out drinking and smoking, just having a good old time. And then we met up later, and I still don't know how. I think my daughter just overheard one of my buddies talking about the shrooms. And so she found out we were pretty lit. But she was freaking out. She called me like way too high. Was like, I need help getting back to the room. So like I got her back to the room, and I went and got her some food and sobered her up a bit. But I haven't been like, I was pretty lit, but I was in a good space. I was in control.
Yeah, dude, there's got to be a certain amount of panic when you're a parent and your kid's too high, and you're like,
yeah. Well, you know, I'm of the school like you got to learn your limitations.
Yeah,
you got to drink till you puke. You got to fucking eat too much weed and think you're dying for a certain amount of time. So,
dude, that where I've gone on, I mean, there's an episode of You Know What, dude, where Lewis Greer Barnes and I all ate these edibles that this guy from California sent in, and you can just hear us get too high. We're like, oh,
dude, I listened to the Be Real podcast. I can't believe the amount they ingest. It's ungodly. They smoke individual joints on the show. There's one episode they smoke each 2 to 3 joints throughout the show personally. And then they also get like tips to do dabs, which that's a whole. Have you fucked with dabs at all?
Yeah, I did them twice. I did one in Denver and I did one in Rhode Island, and both times they fucking wrecked me.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
And then I did Doug Benson's show one time, and he was like, all right. He was like, I was doing Getting Doug with High, and he's like, all right, at the end, we all do a dab. And I'm like, dude, I got to set it at the Hollywood Improv. I'm not fucking dabbing before I go to
that. Did you do it?
No. I was like, fuck off. We've been smoking weed for a half hour. I'm not going to fucking do a dab now.
Do you ever get too high that your set is difficult?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't imagine that.
Brutal.
Oh, that sounds awful. But so they would do that, and then they each ate like 200 milligram edibles, and they were like, "This isn't too much. It's only 200." I mean, I eat like 5 to 10, and I'm good. I can't imagine 200.
Yeah, Louis J. Gomez went on Joey Diaz's podcast, and he had like, I think mathematically the most amount I've ever heard, which was like 1,000 milligrams. And I was like, geez, I think it's even more than that. I want to say it was like 1,600 milligrams. And
I can't imagine.
And I've watched Louis eat edibles and not be like, that one time with Greer and I, he was like, yeah, I was high and they don't really fuck me up. And then I've seen him eat edibles and he's like, they do nothing. I've seen him eat them like candy. He's like, they do nothing. And then he told me about that. And I was like, did that fuck you up? And he's like, yes, it caught up to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
It's got to be nuts.
So
fucking nuts.
Yeah. So my daughter's she started smoking, then she turned 18, and it was all good. And then my son showed an interest. So he smokes every now and then. He just likes when I come home, like if I'm on a trip and I got some pre-rolls and edibles for her, I give him something too. So, but he holds on to it forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. So yeah, I live in a pot smoking house now.
Yeah, dude.
So my daughter, who grew up like I'm not really interested, she's just a pothead now.
Mm-hmm. That's fucking hilarious. And well, I mean, it's better that than like your kids being like weird, or you know what I mean? I'd always feel like if I had a really weird kid, I would understand it, but I would also, there'd be parts where like, depending on how weird they were, it would kind of scare me. You just have like cool kids. You have kids that are like drawing, making music videos.
Yes. I'm very lucky.
You have cool kids. You don't have a kid where like, imagine being a cool dude and then having a kid that you're like, is he going to be a shooter? Like, is he going to fucking like just like a kid with like dead eyes, and he's like, whatever, dad. And you're like, I'm taking all this cool shit. And he's like, I just want to break my rifle down again. And you're like, son of a bitch.
Just watching Full Metal Jacket on repeat.
Yeah. He goes, in movies, they don't actually show the blood splatter. And you're like, all right, dude, this is a lot.
Yeah. So it is cool. I do have my kids are cool, and I'm very lucky that way. I think the hardest thing would be to have a weird kid who just doesn't fit in anywhere and doesn't have friends. Like, that would just kill me to have to watch someone like going through all that.
Yeah, that's got to be suck, man. That's got to really suck, especially when like I wonder what the feel is like when your kid is weird and then they grow out of it and you're like, yes.
It's, you know what? There is a generational thing. I feel so old